Alright, so obviously I don't really cover all of the daily reveals and spoilers and all that, but when the One Piece TCG reveals both of their secret rares for the new upcoming set, you gotta talk about it. That's not my normal intro, but I don't care. Editor, drop that beat! What's up, captains? Welcome back to the Other Decks. My name's Casual Dobo, and today we're going to be going over the two secret rares that have been revealed for the One Piece TCG's first official set, OP01 Romance Dawn. And like I said in the cold open, I don't normally cover all the daily reveals and spoilers and all that. There's a bunch of content creators who do, so I would encourage anyone who's watching this, if you're looking for that type of content, go check out people like Moonmen TCG, Asaraf, Basically Hawkins, Nerdy Perkins. My Twitter friend Void D Sentry, aka Void Sentry, just created a YouTube channel and is doing some amazing content, and looks like they're going to be doing some of the spoilers as well. I know they talked about these secret rares, so go check out all their videos. But like I said, we finally got the secret rares revealed, and I was like, these are so good, and I do have a theory about them, so I did want to make a video and kind of talk about it a little bit. But if you haven't seen them yet, let's go ahead and check out those cards now. Alright, and here we are at the cards. So the first one I want to go over is Shanks. So this is secret rare Shanks, and you can tell because there's a little SEC on the bottom of the card to indicate the rarity, very similar to Digimon. Alright, so Shanks is a character card, cost 9, has 10,000 power, 4 Emperors and Red Hair Pirates typing, does have Rush inherently, and then also a when attacking ability. During this battle, your opponent cannot activate blocker of characters with 2,000 power or less. So obviously this is a very red identity card, super powerful. The ability to have Rush on a 9k drop for 10,000 power is pretty good, and then not being able to activate blockers for your opponent is very rough. I'll go into more of my thoughts on how I feel about this card as a competitive thing, but I will say it does specify 2,000 power or less, and there are some blockers that do go above that, so that's just something to be on the lookout for. But if your opponent has 0 life and, only small blockers, this would get you game almost instantaneously. Actually, correction, that would give you game instantaneously. And then the other secret rare that was revealed was Yamato. So Yamato is a character card, cost 5, power 5,000, has the Wano country typing, and then this card's name is also treated as Kazuki Odin, which also means Odin confirmed. I know Odin was confirmed in another reveal with the Kinemon, but for the purpose of me who doesn't do a whole lot of card reveals, Odin confirmed. But the abilities here are awesome. Double attack, so this card deals 2 damage once it goes through, and then banish. When this card deals damage, target card is trash without activating any of its triggers. So that means not only does your opponent not get the trigger abilities from those cards, but those cards do not go to hand. They go to trash. So no additional counter potentials, no weirdness, no shenanigans. It's a very good ability. And then also counter plus 1,000, which is nice. And so here we're taking a look at both of the cards side by side, and I gotta say, first off, I love the gold border on the secret rares. I think that's absolutely awesome. And then if they follow Digimon's latest trends, where the secret rares as well as the alternate arts have a textured foil to it, that's gonna look real nice. That said, I do have a theory about these secret rares. And that theory is, I think Bandai is giving a secret rare each for the 2 kind of groups that you have in card games. The collectors and the players. Now what do I mean by that? So let's take a look at Shanks. Shanks has amazing art, original artwork, and it's just a solid piece of art. That's a good looking Shanks. That said, the effect is kind of mid. I'm not saying that this is a bad card, but when it comes to sort of the competitive scene, you're not going to revolve your deck around this. A lot of your deck, a lot of the 50 cards that you're building up are meant for those, turns 1 through 5 plays to try and build up your board. The way I view Shanks is that it is a win more card. The 9 cost is pretty steep, and the fact that when it is attacking, it can be blocked by 3,000 power and above is a little rough. And you're probably asking yourself how many instances of that are there. Well, if you look at the set, the super rare Law is a blocker that is, I believe, 6k. If you look at the starter decks, right, Queen is a blocker that I believe is 6k. And sure, those are beefy blockers, but the fact that they can block this secret rare is a bit problematic, especially when that's kind of its whole thing, is to play it and then attack. And so I definitely view this card that if you're going to put it into a competitive deck, you're probably going to put 2 of it, maybe 3 if you want to try and see it. But for the most part, you're going to probably be working in that 4 to 5 cost range, trying to build up your board, set up your combos, all that stuff. And yeah, using 9 of your 10 Dawn, especially if you're not using something like the starter deck Leader Luffy that can put Rested Dawn onto something, like you only have 1 Dawn available to do something else. You should have your Namis like out in play just so you can use that ability, but yeah, lots of planning if you want to use Shanks as the main thing. And that's why I think this is more of a collector's card than anything. I think people who are fans of the One Piece anime, manga, who are just slightly interested in card games, but just really like dope art, are going to want to pick this up because it's awesome. And then if you are a card game player as well, this is just super awesome to have, and probably one of those things that will probably bump up a little bit in price. It depends on how rare or not rare the drops are for One Piece. But, I want you to take all of that context and then compare it to something like Yamato. Now, Yamato does have cool art, but it does seem more in that sort of anime style, which is awesome because the anime styling of Wano is awesome, but nowhere, I would say, near the original art of Shanks. That said, I feel like this is a super competitive card, to be honest. 5 costs, so if you have it in hand by turn 3, you are able to play this. 5,000 power is a natural attacker into any of your leaders, and then those abilities, Double Attack and Banish, are fantastic. And they're fantastic because it forces your opponent to block, because if they don't, that's 2 cards just going straight to trash. And it has counter plus 1,000, which the other Shanks does not. And so yeah, this is an offensive juggernaut. And one of those things where if you put onto the board, your opponent is immediately going to try and, they'll have to react to it, right? I can see a lot of people who play green or some sort of green deck putting 4 copies of this into the deck. And because it is so competitive, its abilities are so good, it's a natural attacker, I think that this one is designed more for the players. And so looking at these 2 cards kind of holistically, it does seem like, if this was intentional at all, right, that Bandai is giving one for the collectors, giving one for the players. And honestly, I do hope that continues to be a trend, if that was, purposeful, intentional, etc. Just because I do think that you need to have something for both sides of the card game space, right? Something for the players, make it not necessarily cheap, but accessible so that everyone can get into the game and enjoy the game that you've built. But for some of the rarer things, you got to give something to the collectors, whether that comes in the form of like alternate arts, awesome secret rares, etc. Yeah, and all that said, these 2 cards are absolutely fantastic to look at. I love these gold borders. I do hope that they have texture to the foiling, because I think that'd be a nice touch. And I'm honestly very excited to see what these look like in real life, because I can already see that the digital versions probably do not do them justice. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. Do you think there's any weight to this theory? Do you think maybe I'm just thinking, maybe overthinking a little bit, which I'm prone to do? And what are you hoping for when it comes to the look of these secret rares, or what future secret rares are you looking forward to? I'd love to hear any and all thoughts about this, just because it's a very exciting time. The set 1, OP01 Romance Dawn, comes out in about 3 weeks, I think, in Japan. So once we are able to see these cards, I think the hype is going to be real. I mean, the hype's already here. Look at that. Look at these cards. But anyway, I think that'll do it for me. So thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. And captains, remember, build what you like, play what you love. And I'll catch you in the next video. Have a good one.